I was staring eagerly in the bathroom mirror on a sunny afternoon. I remember that one moment vividly. It was in 2015, back at my parents' home. I was looking in the mirror and I was asking myself, is this truly it? Am I seeing traces of a six-pack for the first time in my life? I just came back from the pool back then, and a friend of mine made a rather jealous remark about my shreds. He told me, "Florian, you look a little bit more lean than usual." So I rushed home, I looked in the mirror, and I was asking myself, is this truly it? Just 2 months before, I heard completely different remarks. You're going to be protein deficient. Florian, you're going to lose all your muscles. I'm gonna give you 2 months and you will be back to eating chicken and rice out of a Tupperware. As I was posing proudly in front of this bathroom mirror, I asked myself, is this the moment where I've proven them all wrong? Was this the moment I cracked the code to fat loss? See, I was trying to have a six-pack for as long as I can remember. I was 3 years in the gym at this moment in time, and I never really achieved the defined midsection that I always wanted to have. Yet here I was standing in front of the mirror, seeing a six-pack for the first time in my life, being solely fueled on plants. So in this video, I want to show you one single reason why you're not seeing results in the gym, which kept me stuck for 1 year at the least. And this one thing you can change quite simply and rapidly. So let's just jump right into it. The art of the start. If I told you that I would have disliked meat before 2015, when I started out being vegan, I would have blatantly lied. In fact, I think my blood type was closer to that of chicken than that of a real human being. I was eating about 2 pounds of chicken every single day. In the morning, I had about 6 eggs with oatmeal and milk blended together in a blender because it would have been easier to gulp down this huge amount of stuff that I was putting in my body on a daily basis. It came to a point where my mother, I lived at home at that time, was refusing to cook for me. Now this created a lot of tension, but she didn't want to cook that many animal products, and she didn't want to cook those inhumane portions that I was eating on a daily basis because of my bodybuilding diet. I think I've never alienated people as much on a vegan diet as I did on my heavy bodybuilding diet. I was an extreme meathead. The only thing that was on my mind was the gym. The only thing that was on my mind was, the only thing my thoughts were circling around was the gym. I was selfish and ignorant at that time, just extremely focused on that one thing. And the funny thing was that I was still not seeing the results that I want to have. I want to have a well-defined midsection. I want to have a six-pack for as long as I could remember. Yet I never really achieved it in those heavy meat-eating times. On top of not seeing the results that I wished for, I also had a lethargic attitude. I was feeling low of energy all the time and had some sort of anger issues that I didn't know where they were coming from. If you told me back then that this would have been related to my eating habits, I would probably not even have talked with you at all. Until that fateful moment of change. The story of change. There's just one issue, I told my friend back then. She's vegetarian. See, I met an intelligent, thoughtful girl at that moment in time that was also vegetarian to my demise back then. I was a heavy meat eater. And about 2 months into dating, she gifted me a book. It was called Eating Animals by Jonathan Safran Foer. She just told me, "Florian, you should read this." And the information in those 352 pages of that book absolutely changed my life. Yet in the beginning, it kind of made it worse. For the first time in my life, I was experiencing extreme sort of cognitive dissonance. I was not coming to the grips that on a daily basis, I was contributing to an industry that was so wrong on a deep level. I knew that I needed to change, but not now, I told myself. I kind of battled with this thought of going vegetarian and then vegan in my mind for about 2 weeks. At this moment in time, I kind of accepted that this was the end of my fitness career. I would never see a six-pack, I would never gain muscle again in my life. Or so I thought. I didn't know back then that I got the wrong advice. This all started about 10 years ago. A friend told me, Florian, you have to understand that Jeff, a guy from school, is genetically gifted to have a six-pack. And you have to accept that you will never get more than a two-pack. And even this is not certain. My friend told me this at a moment when I opened up to him about my big goals of having a great shape. That here he was telling me that my goals were impossible. He was essentially encouraging me to give up. And in over 3 years of training back then, and now even going vegan, this advice that was crushed down my throat absolutely crushed me. I sat on my bed, I stared at the wall, and I asked myself, were all these efforts for nothing? Were all these people truly right? And this was funny because when I went vegan, when I started working out, I was ignorant, but I was not stupid. See, I knew how to build muscle like intellectually, rationally. I knew that as a vegan you would have enough protein. You would still be able to build muscle on a rational basis. Yet somehow there was a mental rock in my head that just made me incapable of going to that next level. The mental rock was so big that it came to a point where it nearly prohibited me from trying again. The mental rock told me, Florian, you should throw in the towel. Yet what I did, even in those darkest moments, like when I thought all those efforts are for nothing, I persevered. I pushed through. And about 2 months after becoming vegan, when I was looking in that bathroom mirror, it was the moment when I finally threw that mental rock in my head. And I pushed it away into the abyss. Conclusion. In that moment of staring in front of the bathroom mirror, I realized that most of the advice that I ever got in my life when it comes to achieving my fitness goals was wrong. It was from people that were, number one, not where I want to be, and number two, not proven experts in their field. Yes, those people had my best interest in mind. All those people wanted me to succeed in some way or another, but they did not know where I was coming from. They did not know the truth about achieving those goals at all. What I want to get across in this video is that more often than not, what really prevents us from taking action, from achieving the results that we're aiming for, is wrong advice. Advice that has been ingrained from us like 10 years ago when we were in school, when people told us that we're just incapable of achieving the goals that we set out for ourselves. And too often than not, if you think about all those instances, it was almost universally from people that were not proven experts in their field and were not where you want to be, and maybe didn't even have your best interest in mind at all. And the combination of all those wrong nonsense advice that we stacked up for all these years are like mental blocks, mental rocks in our head that kind of prevent us from trying. And that's why we operate in a self-sabotaging way. We poke holes in our armor before stepping on the battlefield. And that's why we fail. That's why this becomes, those mental rocks in our mind become a self-fulfilling prophecy. Because we act in a manner that is congruent to this wrong advice that we got in our head. So the main point of this video is really to assure you that it is possible. I came from the same point that you were coming from. I thought it was impossible for me to achieve my health and fitness goals, especially when I became a vegan. So trust the journey, put your head down and do the work and take action on a daily basis. Your goals are possible and you can reach them. The mental side of achieving your health and fitness goals is also something that I work on with my private vegan clients. If you also want to lose fat, build lean muscle and get in the best shape of your life, click the link in the description. It's the Quality Gains link I had down there. You go to a page where you can pick a time in my calendar where we hop on a call together. We do a free consultation to see if and how I might be able to help you. Okay guys, see you next time.